Yay. I don't hear you.
Hi, everyone.
There,
Welcome
there we
to
go.
Ask Chris Anything. And it is all about her Google Photos specialty with Learn Google Photos. This is the book she wrote. Okay. It's available on Amazon or learngooglephotos.com. You can scan that QR code there and get all of that information. The book is alive. It has updates, references, and videos to all the companion content out there. And there's a web page at lgpbook.online. It's not .com or anything like that. It's lgpbook.online. We want you to sign up for our free newsletter and get a free Google Photos course.
This is brand new, and so this is just a free gift for people signing up for our newsletter. And existing subscribers to our newsletter should have gotten the link in today's email.
Okay, the 12 steps to success with Google Photos. So we have some questions. We're going to get right into it.
Okay.
Did you have something to say?
That's what I'm here for. Well, just about what that class is. The 12 Steps to Success with Google Photos was a course that we had on Thinkific, a course platform, and I've just decided not to do that. And I updated it today, made sure it was up to date, and just put it into a PDF format. So it's a 11-page PDF document with links to several videos throughout.
Okay.
And yeah, if you sign up for our newsletter at geeksontour.com/news, the first email you'll get will have a link to that course.
Oh my, I'm going through a couple of our viewers. Detlef's in Berlin. They're predicting 102 degrees for Wednesday. Yeah, you'll melt, that's for sure.
Wow.
It's bad. And yeah, England, the UK is having some issues as well.
And we're supposed to go there next month, and I thought we would be cooling off. Not so much, huh?
Well, Nancy's in Valdez,
Valdez.
Alaska, so that might be a little cooler.
Not necessarily.
Not
but,
necessarily.
Yeah, I think I saw some pictures of Nancy's the other day from Alaska.
And it's pretty warm there for Peggy, I'm sure.
Phoenix, I'll bet. We are in Fort Lauderdale, and my Apple Watch tells me that it's 91 degrees outside. Not bad for 2 o'clock in the afternoon in a hot place.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see.
All right, we got a few questions in via email. Since they were the first, I think we should probably handle them first, and then we'll go to our live viewers.
Okay. Let me get to those real quick. Comments.
Banners.
Oh, you want the banners?
Yeah.
Well, the live ones. You want these? Okay.
The ones that came in via email. Yeah, Phyllis.
Oh, okay. Now that I have a Google One, how do I back up my photos? Original or storage saver?
Great question, Phyllis. I say storage saver because now, in case you don't know, what she's talking about is that a little over a year ago, I mean, before June of 2021, anything that you backed up to your Google Photos account using what was then called high quality, which is now called storage saver, would be completely free. It just did not count. As of June of last year, that is no longer the case. So she's asking, do I still want to use the compressed format, now called storage saver? Yes, because it saves you space. I do like the new name. Storage saver makes it clear. So if you're paying for 100 gigabytes of storage, for example, that's the $20 a year. And if you used original quality, let's say that you might be able to store 50,000 pictures in that 100 gigabytes at original quality. If instead you use storage saver quality, it cuts that in about half. So you would be able to store 100,000 in the same amount of space. More bang for the buck if you use storage saver quality. And then,
Okay.
yeah, let me jump ahead to one because I'll probably forget it anyway. People will ask, if I use storage quality, can I still get a canvas print for the wall enlarged, even in storage quality? Absolutely. So this is when I store everything in storage saver quality, or what used to be called high quality. And this is a print I had made.
That really looks good.
I think it's wonderful. Yeah. So you are not losing um, pixels. You're not losing resolution. It's just compressing them a little bit so that you're saving storage.
Okay. Sheila, why can't I get my albums to sort by the most recent date? What is the proper date? Year, month, date? Year, date, month? Month, day, year? If I have it wrong, how do I correct it?
Okay, let me show my screen here and talk about albums and album sorting a little bit. So, and this is exactly the same on a phone, on a mobile device, but it's a bigger screen here. I'm going to go into albums and show you that you have three different ways of sorting the albums. Most recent photo is what it does by default. So that means that the top the top album will have the most recent photo in it. And as you scroll down, you get to albums that don't have recent photos in them. So that it gets older and older. Not the album itself. There's no way you can put a date on the album itself. The date is on every picture inside the album. So it's looking at the most recent photo inside the album. Last modified means give me the albums on top that I last work with. So, I may have been working with something from several years ago, but since I worked with it and I added photos, they come to the top. Or last case is album title. So here is where you can have some control. I think what Sheila wants to do is make albums by month. And I do that. I accomplish it with my album name. So since I have it sorted by album name, notice that an album that starts with the asterisk, special characters always come first, then numbers. So anything that starts with a 1 comes next. Now, I name my folders with the 4 digits of the date, a dash, and 2 digits of the month. Makes it very easy for me to find. So let's say I wanted to see all my albums from 2018. Because I've named them all with the same method, I can search for 2018 and then a dash. I mean, notice when you see these, it looks like a little calendar page. That is showing me all pictures dated in October 2018. No, I just want the ones that are my albums. That's what these little icons are for. So if I do 2018 dash, I just think that's brilliant of me. I now get I should be 12 albums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it can only fit 10. So if I see that what I'm missing is, what am I missing? March. I can then look for March. I must have not had one in March. Okay. Oh, I mean, oh, 03. There we go. 2018-03 March. So that's how I do it. There is no such thing. I know what a lot of people want. They want their old folders back. Google Photos does not do folders. Albums are groupings, not storage locations. So what a lot of people want, they want to be able to see a year, open up the year and see all the months. It just doesn't work that way. But here's how I got around it, by coming up with a naming convention that accomplishes the same thing, I think. Okay.
All right. Where'd my. There we go. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Susan wants to know, when I search a person and select their picture, I see some of their pictures, but I know there are hundreds. Do I need to identify each picture in order for them to show up in people search?
Yeah, I cut it off. But that's the gist, I think. And the answer is no. You should not have to identify individually. That's the whole purpose. And I will say that I've been seeing some things, not working right with people lately. Um, and there's no answer, but I think whenever things like that happen, if you can specify exactly what you see happening, you can report it. If it's just things are kind of squirrely, I just wait for it to calm down. But let me show you a little bit about people. So if I go into on the computer, if I go to explore, on the phones, it's called search. The first section is all these people. Now I have named them. So here's one of the keys. If, let's say that I go to Alan here and I say, I th- there's a bunch of pictures here, but I think there's more. Maybe Google Photos has recognized his face and made a different grouping of it. So here's what you do. You scroll through and see if you can find the other face that has not been named. And maybe there is some in here, but I'm not going to spend that much time. Let's say that I think uh, this person is also Alan. What you do, and this is an unnamed person, if I then go in and type Alan, it gives me the option of selecting the existing Alan, and they will be merged together. And that does absolutely work. I'm going to do it. Those are people that I don't really. And now all of those pictures are together in the same Alan. Now, if what you're saying is that you have a picture and people just aren't recognized in it at all, like let's say this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's actually 6 of us in this picture, but it's only seeing 5. First of all, these 4 are not named. So I can say, hey, this person here, she belongs in, and I'll give it a name, or I'll give her a name. But this person, I think it's pretty obvious why we have this funky wig on him. So Google doesn't even see a face there. It just sees that wig. If the person doesn't show up over here in the people section at all, there's nothing you can do about it. There's no way you can highlight that square and say, make a photo out of it. Hope that answered the question, or at least gave you some more information about it. And that is in, by the way, in the book, the How to Handle Faces and manually changing, combining the faces is in the chapter 5, how to find the memories you're looking for, because one of the ways you want to find is by people. So chapter 5, and there is a section on searching by people's names and combining them, etc.
Okay. Sorry. All right. Patty, when deleting and putting photos into albums, I like to do it on my PC to have a large screen. Does that save over to my digital devices like my iPhone and iPad?
Sometimes she doesn't think it does.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And yes, it absolutely does. If you're doing it in the right place. Patty says that when she's organizing photos, she likes to use her computer. Well, if you're using your computer's hard drive and the pictures folders, then no, there is absolutely no connection between the pictures that are on your C drive and Google Photos. But if instead, so let's do one. I want to share my screen, Jim, and I'm going to go to albums, and I'm going to go back to most recent photo, sort, and I'll go to all. No, let me go to a smaller one. 2022-06 June. It has 35 items in it. And let me add another one. So I open the June album, I click plus to add a photo, and I'm going to add something silly like this picture of the mouse. So it'll be very recognizable if it's in there. So I'm adding this photo of my flowery mouse, and I done. And that was taken recently, so it's at the end. There it is in the album. Now, let me go to my phone. This is my Android, but it'll be the same. And I go to that same album, to 2022-06 June, and scroll down to the bottom, and there's the picture of the phone. And same thing if I removed it from the album. So yes, but make sure that when you're on your computer, you're on the Google Photos website to be managing these things, not on your computer's hard drive.
Okay, that was the last question from that before we get to the facts. Do you want to go over to the questions
Comments,
from
yeah.
comments?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Sue Hepler, how can I save a memory album Google creates for me every day? Hitting on the square icon only saves one photo instead of the whole album. And how do I bring that album up again?
Hi, Sue. Good to see you. Hope you're not melting out there in Palm Creek. Now, my first thought was, no, there's no way you can do that. Sorry. But then I checked. I always have to look. I always have to test myself because things change all the time. And so look at this. I'm showing my, I'm showing, once again, this is my Android. Now, as I recall, Sue, you recently switched to an iPhone, right? And that's going to be a problem if I'm right. So what Sue is talking about is on at the top of the photos grid, it makes these special memories. So here is 1 year ago, and it has several photos from 1 year ago. Let's say I really like that collection of photos. And she says she taps the share button and it will only share the one photo. Okay, but I can make an album out of it, tap the 3-dot menu and add to album all items in this memory. So I hadn't even noticed that before. You guys asking me questions is how I learn because I go check it out and, oh, look at there, you can. However, as I say, I have to also check it on iPhone. In iPhone, I have those same memories. Let's go to the one 2 years ago. I have three dots, but under the three dots, there is no add to album. So, and then there's just nothing you can do because these are special things up here. They are not albums. They are not saved. They're just dynamic, showing you your memories.
Okay. Chris, in a shared Google Photos album where multiple people are allowed to add photos, is there an option to not show the owner's name when viewing the thumbnails?
Not that I know of. No, but let me show you what he's talking about on the computer screen. If I go to Italy trip May, or maybe even, yeah, Italy trip May. Both Jim and I put photos in here. The ones that I put in have my name on the lower left-hand corner. And here's one that one other friend put in, Judy Reinheimer. And if there is a way, I don't know of it. That's just how shared collaborative albums work. Well, now let me see. Let me go into, I say I always have to click and see if I can find more of an answer. So let's click on the three dot menu for this album and options. And I can have collaboration on or off, but I see nothing in here to show names or not. You know how to send feedback? So if that is a feature that you want, you go to Google Photos, you go to the help screen on the computer, that's the question mark, and you click on send feedback. It's down at the bottom, and you tell them what you want. You say, I would like a new feature. I would like the feature of being able to not display names on shared album photos. That's all I got for that one.
Okay. What is the easiest way to move photos from one Google account to another? I'm trying to help someone who didn't realize that their new iPhone was sending photos to a Gmail account they seldom use.
Okay. And that is a very common question. People ask that all the time. So that is in the book. I'll read it, but I just want you to know if you have the book, it's in chapter 2 on, I'm sorry, chapter 1 on your Google account and how to combine copying photos to another account. What if you need to change accounts? There's a surprisingly painless way to copy photos from one Google account to another. It's called the partner sharing feature. So if the account that has the photos, we're going to call that account A. The account where you want the photos to be is account B. You log into account A, go into settings and partner sharing, and share with account B, granting access to the entire library. Then from account B, you accept the invitation and check the box to say save all photos to my account. Understand though and it does it. It's like I say, quite simple, but it gets all the photos. It does not get any album structure. So if in account A you'd been making a bunch of albums, it doesn't sound like your friend did though. From the question, that should solve your issue. Partner sharing.
Okay. Where'd I go? There we go. If I understand correctly, when you add a picture to an album, the picture is not actually added, but a link to the original picture is added to the album.
Kevin, yes, I would put it slightly differently, but you have the idea, absolutely. An album is not a storage device. You know, folders are storage devices. On your computer, if you have a pictures folder and you have a January subfolder, the photos are stored in those folders. In Google Photos, your photos are stored in one giant stream by date, but any one photo can show up in multiple albums. So that's the beauty of it. Rather, if in folders, you would have to physically make copies if you wanted it to show up in more than one, and what a mess that would be. So yes, the album is just where a photo shows up. So do not go deleting photos from your main library thinking that they're in an album. If you delete it from your main library, it's gone. It's gone from the albums, it's gone from any place you've shared it. It's gone because it's only there once.
There's a question. How do I get started with Google Photos?
Get started with Google Photos. Uh, well, that ebook, that course, the free course that I said if you just sign up for our newsletter, you will get the free course called 12 Steps to Success with Google Photos. It tells you exactly how to start out on both Android and iPhone. But just simply, the way you get started is to install the app on your phone and turn it on. It will step you through that. From then on, your phone will automatically upload all your photos to your Google account in the cloud, and they will collect there. And then you can do all sorts of stuff with them.
Okay, Kevin says he's putting the date in as 4 digits for the year, 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and an identifier on all of his pictures.
Well, that tells me that you're managing your pictures on your computer because there is no such thing as renaming. I assume that's what you mean. You change the file name. And this used to be a technique that I taught way back with Picasa when all our photos were on our C drives, on our computer hard drives. It was a great technique to name the photos with the YYYYMMDD. But number one, you can't do that with Google Photos. Once the photos are in the cloud, the names are these long hash names, I guess, and you cannot rename them. You can add a description, but descriptions are meant to be in English, you know. Birthday party for Joe or something like that is what should go in the descriptions. Now, if you're talking about albums, yes, you can name your albums and something like why. That's basically what I do, but I make it a little bit more readable. I do YYYY dash MM and then I write out the month.
When I want to add photos to my e-blog and go to photos through my blog entry, not all my pictures are available.
How long have you? There was a bug. I have a sneaking suspicion that you were running into this bug. I'm also assuming that you're using Blogger because that's Google's blogging tool. And since it's owned by Google, it has access to your Google Photos. I've been using it for years and years. And yes, I was very distressed when I would go to add a photo and I would say, I want my album from our Italy trip. And it was not there. There was a bug that eliminated all albums from Blogger's view if they had been shared. It's fixed. As of a few days ago, I tried it and my albums are there. So I'm hoping that's what your issue was, and if so, try it now and it should be there. If not, then write a follow-up question.
Can you save CR2 photos on Google?
What's CR2?
I don't know.
CR2.
Hmm.
I don't know what CR2 is, so therefore no. um, it stores. It's able to read, JPEG, PNG, HEIC, and then video, MOV, and MP4s, and then several different variations of what's that called when you're not compressing at all? It's not using any kind of
Raw.
raw files. Thank you. Maybe CRT is a type of raw file, in which case what you do is you go to Help in Google Photos.
Here, CR2 is high definition photos on Canon versus JPEG, probably an HEIC type format
Or a
or
raw
a raw.
type.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, CR2.
I'm going to go
Wow.
into Google Photos Help and type CR2. And under backup photos and videos, types of raw files that can be backed up. Are you seeing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Types in the lower right-hand corner here. These are all the types of raw files. And my eyes can't tell if CR2 is in there or not, but it might be. What did you say? It was a Canon?
Yeah.
Boy, there's a lot. Yeah, Control F, CR2. Nope. So don't know, but that's, let your eyes spend more time on it. Maybe you'll find it there.
All right. Let's see. Yes, I do change file name, but that's because I use two small cameras, one digital video and a digital single lens reflex, two phones to take pictures. Well, you need more than one.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with changing the names on the computer before you upload it to Google Photos, but it doesn't necessarily help anything because Google Photos automatically stores things by date based on the metadata. Oh, here's one thing I wanted to show on that. Yeah, let me go to my, yeah, in case you don't know, maybe in Google Photos, in what is called the grid, which is just your main, right here, all your photos, it's automatically grouped by month. And by definition, that means by year. And if you grab this little button over here, I call it the quick scroll button, you will go month by month through year by year. So if it now, once again, it's not stored in folders by month, but it's grouped by month. So why go through all the work to do that yourself when that's its native condition?
Okay. Why am I getting duplicate photos on my iPhone in Google Photos?
No. All right, here's my duplicate photo spiel. First of all, yeah, Google Photos does not allow. I mean, if If I upload a photo from my computer to Google Photos, and then 5 minutes later, I forget that I had done that, and I upload the same photo to Google Photos, it will go through the motions, but in the end, it won't. It will be rejected. There will only be the first one that I uploaded. Now, that said, there are a lot of photos that look like duplicates, and I believe you if you say, no, there is absolutely no difference between these two, and there are two of them there. Google does not give us any tools yet. I'm still hoping for them to give us tools that show us all the look-alike photos and give us tools to eliminate them. Now that said, do you have an iPad? I have recognized that when I take a screenshot with my iPhone, something about how it goes to iCloud and over to my iPhone and then picked up by Google Photos. So it's the iCloud copy is getting picked up by Google Photos plus the camera roll copy. And there's got to be some little difference between the two of them because it allows both of them up there. But I haven't identified that specifically or found a cure for it. So you just have to delete the ones manually that you don't want. That's all I can say.
All right. I use SmugMug, but it's getting expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, SmugMug, people who use SmugMug, most of the time, it's because they want to be able to sell them. They want to be able to share with not just friends, but with other people and allow them to buy. You know, you're more of a professional photographer, is my expectation if you're using SmugMug. So yeah, they have some prices involved. So does
And
Google Photos, but $20 a year for 100 gigabytes? I think that is just so cheap.
Andrew says albums are display options, not storage options.
Exactly. Good words, Andrew.
All right. So yeah, that CR2 is Canon
Canon
RAW.
RAW. Yeah, okay. And that another clue that you're a professional photographer.
Is there a way to have subfolders of an album in Google Photos?
No. Except by no, there is no nested albums. You can accomplish the same thing with your naming conventions. If what, like my why. So if I want to see all my photos from 2018, I can just type 2018 dash and I get all my albums from 2018. And then the second set of digits is the month. So I think it accomplishes the same goal, but it's not nested. Nope.
Okay, let's see. I don't think I see much more. Thank you. Your book has saved me countless times.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good deal. And I think, have you seen any that I've missed?
Nope, nope. But you could do an FAQ or two. You know,
Okay,
I
got them right here. Remind me how I create an album and add a bunch of photos to it.
oh, I like to show this on the phone because a lot of people don't know this. So if I wanted to put all of my July pictures into an album, and you know, there's quite a few, not a ton, but there's quite a few. The way you select on the phone is long press on the first one. I long press and I am now in selection mode. And notice at the top here, it says I have one selected. Now I can just drag my finger and everything I drag over is selected. So I have 58 photos from July selected. And now this is relative. The plus used to be up at the top of the screen. Now it pops up down at the bottom when you've selected. So I selected pictures, I tap the plus, I create an album, and I'm going to give it my favorite name. This is just junk. Junk July and check mark. So that's how you create an album. Select the pictures, click the plus.
Okay.
I see one new one from Cheryl Scally.
Okay. You do. Oh. I love Google Photos. Do I have to use the iPhone cloud storage as well? It seems like a waste to pay for more cloud storage.
Well, no, you don't. Mm, but I think that you should have one secondary cloud storage because, for example, if you take your pictures with your iPhone, you have one copy, right? Now Google Photos has uploaded it to your cloud, your Google account in the cloud. Now you have two copies. You can, however, and Google kind of encourages you to, you can now delete them from the phone. So now how many copies do you have? Just one. No, 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 no. So before you delete them from the phone or get a new phone, you should copy them to some other location, either your computer or the easiest is a second cloud account. iCloud is as good as any. So, and if you're in the Apple world, iCloud is a good thing to do. So no, you don't have to. You know, you can turn off iCloud storage if you use Google Photos and you understand, you make sure that it's working properly. But then I would recommend using some other cloud storage. I use OneDrive cloud storage to have a second copy.
So Andrew says, is it actually true that you cannot actually take a duplicate photo? You only get a true duplicate if you copy an original, and there are always unseen differences in every original. So if you snap two photos, one right after the other, they're not exactly duplicates.
Right. They are, we call them similar. Right. You cannot take duplicate photos. You can take similar photos. You cannot take duplicate photos. They are different photos. But that said, I know I do have a certain section in mind that I can't find the difference. It's the exact same file name, exact same file size, exact same, dimensions, same pixels. But there's got to be something different because that absolutely just is programmatically not allowed in Google Photos.
Yeah, John stores all his photos on external drives, so he has backups.
Okay, great. What I do, I have a backup drive, but I don't want all my thousands of photos, So like we were just saying, you see a pretty sunset, you might take 20 photos. I don't care to have all those. So what I let Google Photos take all of my photos up into the cloud. I pick my best and put them in albums. I have an official album for every month. Now I download those monthly albums to my hard drive. So if the internet blows up in flames, I know that I still have my best photos on a local hard drive. So that's my technique.
Okay, if you delete them from your phone, aren't they also deleted from your cloud?
Here's where I want to show one of the slides from the slideshow, Jim. The answer is yes for Apple, no for Google. So go to the next and the next. Yeah, this one. Or yeah, let me look at one more. Nope. Okay, go back. All right. Google has a completely different philosophy of using the cloud than Apple does. So when Google uploads to the cloud, that is the end of the road for photos with Google. The goal for Google is to get all your photos into the cloud from whatever device. Once they're in the cloud, Google doesn't care if they're what device they came from. It doesn't need them to be on the device. Apple, on the other hand, uses the cloud just to keep all your Apple devices in sync. Add a photo to one, it gets added to all the others. Delete a photo from one, it gets deleted from all the others. Very, very different from Google. In Google, you can delete from your phone and still have your photos in the cloud. Apple, you cannot.
Okay, Google Photos with Snapseed.
Oh, yeah. I love Snapseed, and Snapseed is a photo editing app made by Google, bought by Google, and now maintained by Google. And you can get to it straight from your Google Photos. Oh, can I show one of these? Yeah, we got time, right? Okay. So let me get, I have some Snapseed samples. I want to show you something really good. Okay. So, all right. So here's a photo. This is my Samsung device. I'm in Google Photos. If I tap edit, and we've done whole classes. We've done classes, lots of videos on Snapseed. If I type edit, go all the way over to the right under more, there's Snapseed. And I can do something really simple like morning. And the photo is a lot better. Then I can do things like ambiance, my favorite. And look at that. So there is the original picture. There's the picture edited in Snapseed. And when I'm done, I just tap done. And now I'm back in Google Photos. So that's just one little teaser taste of Snapseed.
If you create a shared album in iCloud, even if you only share it with yourself, iCloud does not count against that. That does not count that against your storage.
Now you're saying iCloud, so that's Apple. And I know a little bit about Apple, but not if you create a shared album. Well, and it's the same thing in Google. An album is just a display device, using Andrew's words, a display device. So you're not making a copy. It doesn't, it's not that they're giving you more storage. It's not taking any more storage. So same thing with Google and Apple.
Should I use Gallery in addition to Google Photos?
No, if if you have a Samsung phone, it comes with a photo gallery. There's a lot to know about how that gallery works. There's a lot to know about how Google Photos works. Learn one. You can't get rid of Gallery. And there are a couple of things that Gallery can do that Google Photos can't. So every once in a while, I will open Gallery just to use its erase object, for example. That's way cool. And when I save it using Gallery, I will see it in Google Photos. But do not make albums in Gallery because they won't be albums in Google Photos. Learn one and use it don't use the other one. You're muted.
What are the similarities between Google Photos and Amazon Photos?
We did a whole show on that. If you go to geeksontour.com and our YouTube show, scroll down till you see Amazon Photos. There's a lot of similarities, but Google Photos is better. One of the things people think that Amazon Photos is 100% free for storage, unlimited storage. But two things. Number one, Amazon Photos only gives you unlimited photo storage if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber. So there you're already paying $120 a year. Now, if you're paying $120 a year anyway and you want to store your photos, I let Amazon store all my photos, but not my videos. They only give you 5 gigabytes of video storage for free, and that fills up like that. So it's not, and after that, you have to pay basically the same pricing structure as you're paying at Google Photos for all the storage. But it does do people, and you can make albums and you can search. And yeah, Amazon Photos I think is probably the closest. Amazon Photos and iCloud Photos is the closest to Google Photos, but Google Photos is the best. You're muted.
What is a conversation in the sharing section?
Okay. It's really cool for if you get any friends to use it. It's a really cool way of sharing, but most people don't know it's there, don't understand it. Let me show you. So if I have this picture of me on a kayak getting ready to go kayak diving, our favorite thing to do in Fort Lauderdale, and I want to share it with somebody, you tap share. Now, if I just share it with a person, I'm going to choose Jim. I can say something. Let's go kayak diving. And when I tap send, it has just gone to Jim in his Google Photos in a conversation. It hasn't been added to an album, although behind the scenes there's something like an album going on. So if I now go to my sharing section, geez, I have to go back until I get to the main. Under sharing here, on Android, the first row is shared albums. The second section is conversations. So if Jim wanted to send me a picture back, he doesn't have to, he can open up our conversation and share another picture. It's like a text messaging. So I have a history of Jim's and my conversation that was handled using Google Photos. The problem is you have to be a Google Photos user for that to work. So you can't use that technique with any of your friends. They have to be a friend who uses Google Photos.
Can you share the website to learn more about being Google certified?
I think you're talking about like what I am, a Google Photos product expert. There is no certification. You don't take a test and prove your knowledge. You just answer people's questions on the forum. And as you answer more questions, Google considers you, and you can apply for it, and it considers you a product expert. Now, that said, I can show the website. Let's see. If I go, I have it on. Yeah. Product experts. It's called Product Experts with Google.com and what it is. So that's Product Experts with Google.com / what it is. And if you wanted to do that, you could sign up right here. You could say, I want to help out answering people's questions, and get going.
Not sure where. How did you just do that keyboard typing or rather swiping?
I was wondering if anybody would notice that and say, "What?" And once again, we've done an episode of our YouTube show on this, and you're right, it is called swiping, and every phone can do it now. Just try it. The point is that you don't need multiple fingers or thumbs. One finger, and you slide from one letter to the next. You only lift your finger in between words. It takes some practice, but just try it.
Okay. I don't see any more comments here.
Well, Kodachrome slides had to be mailed in and waited a week for them to come back.
Well, they were talking about,
with
in the
film.
30s, you bought a roll of film from the drugstore. They loaded the film in a box camera, and then you brought the whole camera back. Yeah. Wow, some of these people are older than me.
Hey, we had dark rooms though, right, Jim?
I did.
You
I had
you
it.
did, and my dad did, and I would help out in the dark room sometimes. So yeah, that's going back to. I like the digital so much better,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's cheaper too.
and the things you can create with it,
Yep. It's better now.
and make your photo look better. Let's say you have a photo of dear friends, but it's so dark that you can't see their faces. If that was in a print, film from a film camera that you couldn't see that it was dark until you got it 2 weeks later, nothing you could do. On the phone, there is. Just say, brighten it up. Done.
Okay. Well, we've filled another hour, Chris.
Looks
This is
like it.
really great.
Looks like it.
I would like to invite everybody to sign up for our free newsletters, and you can do that right on our website. There's all kinds of ways to do that. Let's see if we have anything else here. And Picasso.
I had no Picasso questions today. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Are we finally moving on?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
Well, great. I'm glad you all were able to join us. I hope you can join us the next time. We're going to have a show next Sunday. A What Does This Button Do show.
And it'll be about digital asset management, a living presentation about death. What do you have to do now to see that your executors will be able to get your online assets? Important topic. We have a guest speaker, Judy Taylor, with us next week.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it for me.
All right. Well, Peggy says, thanks for all the great tips. Always interesting. And we love answering questions. Well, at least one of us does.
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to give us a thumbs up.
Yeah. And subscribe, notify, all that stuff. Click the bell. And we will see you next time. Stay in touch and keep on learning.